Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. And today's a special day for the museum. In this week's update video, our update is that we are reopened for tours. Today is July 3rd, 2024, and we have gotten the ship put back together sufficiently to reopen for tours. Now, like we've been saying all along, this does not mean that we are finished restoring the vessel. This does not mean that everything is ready. We're still fixing some things around the ship, and of course, we'll never have her fully restored. We have other major projects coming up, like repainting the freeboard of the ship, and we're still continuing redecking efforts on board, along with a ton of other projects all over the place that our volunteers are working on. This is the first time that the museum has been open in 130 days. It has been 130 days since we had to shut the ship down to start getting her ready to go into dry dock for our major yard period. However, prior to that, the 22 years that the museum had been open represents more time of the ship actively serving as a museum ship than she actively served as an active duty vessel. Did I say the word active enough? Anyway, Battleship New Jersey has been a museum for 22 years, but that doesn't mean that this is the first time we've had guests on board. In fact, it was extremely common during the ship's career for her to have guests on board. We've talked about this a couple times in the past, but the ship was even built with a female bathroom on board, even though there's no female crew, specifically because she was supposed to be entertaining guests. By the 1950s, she was entertaining guests so frequently that a second female bathroom was added. And it's only removed in the late 1980s because it's turned into a radiation washdown shower as the ship gets fitted with more Cold War era anti-radiation stuff. For example, the battleship hosted what's called an open house May 19th and 20th, 1990. So about 6 months before the ship is decommissioned. And during that 2-day period, the ship saw 10,500 folks from the Long Beach area come on board and tour the vessel. Just for a little bit of context for that number, that means that in 2 days, they got somewhere between 10 and 20% of what this museum gets in an entire year. Hard to give an exact number because our statistics have been so wonky ever since the pandemic started, but somewhere between 10 and 20%. So that was the last time she had an open house in her home port of Long Beach. June 8th through 11th, she ends up in Portland for the Rose Festival. During that long weekend, she had 40,000 visitors on board. That's more than half as many visitors as we'll see in an entire year coming on the ship in one weekend in 1990. June 12th, the ship is open in Longview, Oregon, with nearly 5,000 guests on board in that one day. And then June 16th and 17th, the ship is in San Francisco, where they see another 25,000 guests over that 2-day period. Open houses like these are when the ship pulls into port and opens up for anybody who can wait in line long enough to get on board. But the ship also opened up for guests for what are known as Tiger Cruises. Tiger Cruises are usually restricted for family of sailors on board, and some of the crew who don't have family nearby will be off of the ship, go on liberty, and some of the crew who bring their family out to see their workspaces while they're there working on them get to have them on board for, it's usually a day or two long cruise. Here's a recording of Captain Katz, the ship's second to last commanding officer who would go on to retire as a vice admiral, in the ship's television studio, preparing the crew for a Tiger cruise. So here's some of the things that he thinks is important for them to know about.
There's special activities scheduled for the Tigers during their stay on the battleship.
I was thinking about the, just missed the question. I was thinking about the last one. Special activities scheduled for boy, are there. We have come up with a full set of tours. We have two 60-inch gun shoots, TV programming. We've got small arms, all kinds of activities planned throughout the 7 days, ship handling, man overboard drills, you name it. Each of our dependents will be in a group. You don't have to go on the tours in that group, but we're going to have 10 groups, I think. 10 groups for about 15. That's not right. Yes, it is. got 25, yeah. Be 25 in each group. I'm trying to think, 255 people. Be 25 in each group, 10 groups, and each one of those groups will have places to stand throughout the ship for each of the events, special tours throughout the ship. We're doing that because if Fireman Jones, he might know a heck of a lot about the fire rooms or the engine rooms, but he's sure not very good at taking his dependent and showing him around the turret or up in the signal bridge or on the bridge. But we're going to have tours set up. Again, your dependent doesn't have to go on it. It'll be scheduled. There'll be a tour guide that knows all of those areas, the specific areas that he's taking them to. So we're really going to try to organize it so that everyone gets an opportunity to see the entire ship over the 8 days.
Have you ever gotten to visit an active duty warship? If you haven't gotten the chance yet, in October 2025, Philadelphia and Camden are going to be jointly hosting a Fleet Week in which several active duty Navy vessels are scheduled to participate. So much like the open houses that New Jersey held when she was in commission, you'll get the chance to come on board active duty Navy ships during the Homecoming 250th Navy and Marine Corps celebrations around the Philadelphia-Camden area in just over a year, in October 2025, for the 250th anniversary of the founding of the U.S. Navy and Marine Corps. Let us know in the comments section down below if you've ever gotten the chance to visit an active ship, or if you've only been on museum ships. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State, also from a number of other businesses and private individuals like yourselves. We really appreciate your support. There's a link in the description below if you'd like to donate to support the museum. You can also support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing so more people find about us on the channel. Thanks for watching.